And I'd love to hear any pushback, seriously. And what you have to understand is that this isn't a war about oil. This is a war water. It's about water, people. And whoever controls the water wins the war. Let me explain. There are 14 countries, right, in that area, 14. And all these 14 countries need water, and they don't have it. One second. Let me get in the car here. Plug in the phone. All right, here we go. I'm only at 4%. Got to pick up my son. Let me introduce you who I am. My name is Mike Trout, Undao. You can Google me, Undao, UNDAODU. I'm one of the original blockchain individuals. A lot of people give me credit for the DAO, the Decentralized Autonomous Organization. I produced the first image of a programmable blockchain back in 2010, and my work was used to inspire launch Ethereum. I am the visionary behind Foundups. You go to foundups.com, learn more about Foundups. We are moving from a society where it's ROI to ROC, return on compute. ROI drives capitalism. ROC drives social beneficial capitalism. And it's a framework that I ushered in. But what I want to talk to you right now is the severity of what's happening in the Middle East, because people don't understand what's going on. All right, this is not a war Trump can win. This is an asymmetric war, right? And which means that it's not a conventional war. And all Iran has to do is blow up, right, 3 desalination plants that have no protection, that cannot be protected, and that are responsible for literally tens of millions of individuals' life. You know, you can only survive on water on 3 days. That's it. 3 salination plants. Kuwait salination plant produces 95% of all water for Kuwait. You blow up that one plant and it can't be defended. It cannot be stopped from Iran blowing up that desalination plant. You can kiss Kuwait goodbye. There will be revolts. It's kind of like blow up a desalination plant. In many respects, in a week, you have literally millions of individuals dying in a week. No water. There is no fucking water. 95% of the water for Kuwait comes from desalination. 60% Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia fucking sends troops, and Trump is already planning to put troops on the ground. And that's what Iran did yesterday. They said, we're going to halt attacks, provided, understand this threat, provided none of you set foot in Iran. Because if you fucking set foot in Iran, you can kiss your fucking water goodbye. Trump cannot win this war. He shouldn't have started this war, and you definitely can't win it. Iran has been planning for this war, for 50 years. They own all the water. The Gulf states do not own the water. There are 14 countries in that area, and all of them don't have water. None of them have water. They rely on desalination. And you cannot defend those desalination. This is the secret you are not hearing from the mainstream media. This is the reality that you're not hearing from anyone. No podcasters, no nothing, right? But I'm breaking it to you. I'm gonna give it to you, right? So understand that when you blow up those desalination plants, you end global oil production. Understand what that means, right? You blow up literally three fucking things that are floating out in the water that cannot be fucking defended. You collapse global capitalism. 25%, right? Inference. All of the Wall Street, the banking, the dollar, the everything, right? Everything hangs on those fucking desalination plants. But you're dealing with an idiot. Trump is a fucking idiot. Do you think Trump really thought about that? Do you think Hegstep, a fucking alcoholic, really thinks about that? I mean, these motherfuckers are so much into the fucking Bible. They don't want to hear. They don't want to hear logic. They don't want to hear fucking fact. Oh no, I don't want to hear that. I make my own decisions, right? Oh, I know everything. All right, on this, and this is where we're at. We're in Armageddon, people. And all you motherfuckers calling for this war are threatening the entire civilization because you're dealing with fucking martyrs. You're dealing with the Sunni. The Sunni is jihad. You killed their fucking Pope, dipshits. You fucking killed the Pope. You killed the Dalai Lama. In many respects, you killed one of the disciples of Jesus from their point of view. They worship God, right? They live for martyrdom. They live for jihad. You killed a fucking sick leader who was going to die. He had colon cancer. He probably had months to live, but no. Israel, Netanyahu, for 40 fucking years, his wet dream, this Zionist piece of shit, Nazi Zionist, has wanted to fucking crush Iran. And he wanted to make sure he did it. And they did it on a stupid fucking holy holiday. And now you've got U.S. troops, you have our U.S. military who are basically saying this is some sort of religious war, some sort of prophet war. This is the lunacy. There is only one solution. There's only one solution. We have to fucking impeach Trump. We have to say, listen, sorry, Iran, we'll take your deal. We promise never to fucking make uranium. You understand that was their deal? They promised us we won't make anything except for 0.03. But no, not these fucking crazies. We've got crazies in the White House. We have our fundamentalist Christian fucking American crazies in the White House. All laying hands on, oh, we're bringing back Jesus. We're bringing back Jesus. Jesus. Let's bring back Jesus. Let's let Trump, the mighty Trump. You see how fucking crazy? We have MAGA is fucking ISIS. MAGA is the American ISIS. MAGA are fucking fundamentalist fucking idiots, dude. This shit is insane. Anyway, welcome to the stream. I'm getting worked up here, dude. I live in Japan, right? You're like, I'm an American living in Japan. Or do you realize the State Department last week told 2 million Americans to fucking leave those 14 countries? Do you realize the State Department why do you think so? Why? Right? Why? Someone tell me, why did the State Department tell 2 million Americans but not prevent any out? You understand that whole economy is run by Americans. You understand that they're shutting down gas fields. I'm in Japan. 95%. I just met with our solar panel folks. I have, my solar panels generate 78% of all my utility on my house, 78%. Okay. So today I fucked up. I really fucked up. 5 years ago, I wanted to add battery pack to get off the grid. And I was being a cheap bastard and thought I could get it cheaper from China. And I got distracted, never got it done. I should have got it done, and I didn't. And now it's going to take me 6 months to get fucking battery packs to my house in order to get off the grid, because you got to get permitting and all this shit. It takes, 6 months. It's going to be 6 months. Fuck, 6 months from now, we have, Japan has 200 days of fucking reserves. They get 95% of their fucking oil from that region. All right. You understand? You understand? They blow up the desalination plant. Japan collapses as a nation, right? We collapse as a nation, right? And that is the reality. Life in Japan is amazing. Been here 21 years, married to Japanese. I'm picking up my son right now on it. But the point is, this video, you're looking at me to change the subject here. It's probably Urk, you're probably an Israeli operative. Tell us about Japan. Don't talk about the reality that fucking Israel is unhinged, that Trump is unhinged. We have Zionist control over our country. Understand that Epstein was a Zionist fucking agent. In the 80s, there's a passport in the Epstein files. This is all facts. This has all been supported. He had a passport. He was an agent of Israel. Who he worked, his handler, the handler of him was the former prime minister, who was the former the chief of fucking Mossad. So the chief of Mossad retired, and what was he? He became the handler for Epstein. MAGA came out of this shit, dude. The whole all the stuff from what's it called? Well, I'm thinking of all of the QAnon and all that shit came out of the dark web, right? All of this shit is all tied into the Epstein files. We need the other 3 million Epstein files released. We need them fully unredacted. We need to know what the extent of this shit is. But right now, we're dealing with an existential threat to all of civilization from Japan and all over, based on desalination plants, right? And this is no joke, right? You have to understand that this is about water. It's not about oil, okay? And Iran as they have elevation. They have 900 miles of elevation that looks down over these desalination plants, right? They can own every single one of them on there. I mean, hold on. I got to clear the channel, right? I got to clear the chat. We got in here. Welcome to the channel. Anyone, if you agree with me, type 1. If you disagree, type 0. I'm just curious, how many of you understand the desalination plants? And if you don't know, type 2. All right? If you don't know, type 2. Okay? On there. All right? On there. Congratulations. All right, you're the first one. You get mod status. Welcome. This channel is a channel of mine from 10 years ago. I'm activating it. I'm coming out of retirement. Okay, congratulations. Number 2 person, get yourself mod status. Congratulations. And then number 3, congratulations. You get mod status. All right, congratulations. Now, in this channel here, when you see a troll, you whack the fucking shit out of them. All right. I am troll. This is anti. So as a moderator, okay, feel free to whack these motherfuckers, dude. All right. Feel free to not. Here's Rod. Here's one of my folks. Add moderator, managing moderator. Good to see you in here, Rod. Rod, I'm going to be on this channel now. This is Foundups official channel. If you want to understand my work, all right. But what I'm trying to get across to you right now is the severity of what's going on right now. And there's the only solution is impeach Trump. I'm telling you, the only fucking solution is to impeach Trump, to impeach all these criminals, to go after, to fucking clean house, to unredact the total Epstein files, make sure all the victims, unredact them all, right? Make sure the victims are protected. And we need a clean house. We need the fucking clean house in America, right? We need a fucking clean house. This has to be the French Revolution, the guillotine, right? Has to be, has to be special investigators, special, right? We don't go guillotining people. We need the fucking clean house, 100%. right? On it. Type a one if you agree, right? If you disagree, type zero. I'm just curious, how many zeros in there? How many people out there, right? Well, yeah, you have to put a bomb. Yeah, I agree with you. You got, we got. I agree with you. You don't clean house. We gotta put a fucking what is it called? What is that? You know, the roach bomb. We need a fucking roach bomb. Roach bomb. And what is that roach bomb? Right? We have to impeach. Agree. Type one if you agree. Impeaching Trump. Type one. The only way out of it is to impeach and get rid of him, put all the blame on him. Because here's what's going to happen, folks. Here's what's going to happen. All right. A bug bomb. We need a bug bomb. Here's what's going to happen. All right. We're sending fucking troops in there. The more we escalate this shit, the greater likelihood understand, Iran does not have a centralized government. You guys understand that? Type one if you understand how Iran government works. Type one. There is no, it's a decentralized structure, right? They're like right? Sales. Right? You understand? One if you is not right, is not a centralized government. All right. It's decentralized, meaning that every fucking village has their own drones, has their own military, has their own thing, every little one. Now they listen to the one above, but if the one above isn't there, guess what? All right. Guess what? Hold on one second. All right, guess what? Some little village mayor is going to fire a drone at desalination. It just takes one fucking drone, no water, no gas, no capitalism, no stock market, no America, right? A massive recession, one we've not ever seen forever. All right, let me read something. I'm driving to pick up my son. He's let me see if we can get some music going here. He's really upset. I'm there. All right, let's read here. Purple flower. Anyone? If I missed anyone here from my other channels? I have other channels. I have moved to Japan. I also have a channel, Antifa FM. Okay, those are my other channels. So anyone here from another channel that's a moderator? Do I miss if I see your name? All right, Ahmed. How you doing there, buddy? All right, where's everyone at? Where's everyone in chat right now? Type the flag of your country, right? I know. I agree, Keith. Humps agree, dude. It's like he's a cancer. We've got a fundamentalist cancer, and he's now going after Turkey. Did you hear that? Bibi's now going after Turkey. Turkey's the next Iran. It's like, oh, we got rid of Syria. We got rid of Iraq, which was on the list. We got rid of Syria. We got rid of now we're getting rid of we got rid of Palestine, right? Now we're going after the bigger ones. Now we're going after, shit. Yeah, it's like, right on there. Right, look at this. All right, let's go ahead. You see these fuckers, time them out. Get rid of the trolls. You got trolls in. All right, look at it, Chris. Look at them. Look at my fan clubs that found me. Look at these MAGA. These are MAGAs. So we have to understand the only way out of this situation without Americans dying, without without the global collapse, because like I said, there's literally three, right? objects that if they blow up, desalination plants that can't be protected, they don't have missile systems or anything else from Iran. The whole, our whole way of living is ended, right? Who's MAGA? You don't know who MAGA is? Make America Great Again? They're the Trump supporter, right? Like you're MAGA, Trump supporter. I know, Diana. I know. Here you go, Dad. I'm making moderators on this channel. All right. You're an independent. You're not an independent. There's no independence. Trump is fascism. You either believe in you believe in democracy or you believe in fascism. There's no such thing as neutral anymore, right? Right? No, if if you don't know what MAGA is, then you're just a troll. You're just a troll. All right, you're an independent. You don't know what MAGA is. What is MAGA? You're obviously MAGA. Now swinging to independent, you're trying to distance yourself away from the cult. Is that what it is? Right? Right. Look, see, look at these guys. They want the world to end. These people think, that they want. Maybe they want this. I mean, we're dealing with lunatics. We're dealing with people who don't understand that one fucking drone ends our way of life, right? Ends oil, ends everything, right? On there. Um, here's like Marcus trying this reverse psychology. Now the MAGA, right? Now the MAGA. All right. Did you vote for Trump, Mark? All right, look, trying to create. Just get the dumb fucks out there, dude. Some independent is trying to say that he's independent when he goes, "What's MAGA?" And then here comes his buddy Mark going, "Oh, nice for you to label the Trump supporters. Get them fucking out of here. Get these pieces of shit out of here. These guys are just bots. They're just Israeli, Epstein, fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazi fucking bots. That's all they are. Trump's a lunatic. That's right. Ahmed. Where do you live? Ahmed. He wants to destroy the world. He wants to destroy it. Where's everyone at? Where's everyone from right now? All right. Where's everyone from? Where's everyone? Put your country. Put your country. I'm just curious. Do me a favor. Put your country. India. Yeah. From Florida. Says Swas. I'm a Florida man too. All right. Brooklyn, New York. Hey, I was in New York before I left for Japan. Salam alaikum. Salam alaikum there. Brazil. So you came from your mom's house? Good. God damn, you dirty, Ted. You're dirty. You're dirty. My mom has been dead for fucking like 8 years, dude. What were you doing in her grave? You came out of my mom's grave? What were you doing with her? You're in the necrophilia, right? Is that what you're doing? You dirty man. Ugh. God damn. Fucking my mom's clothes. She was like 80 years old. You're into like geriatric necrophilia type thing. Florida sucks. It does suck, Philly. Oh my God. Welcome to the channel. So do you guys listen? Do you guys understand the dire situation? Type one if you understand the dire situation we are. Do you understand that the salinization plants, right? This war isn't about oil. It's all about water, right? Um, you understand that, guys? You understand how serious this is? You understand, right? That the only way out of this situation is to impeach Trump. Why? Anyone can explain? Do you know why? You know why? The only way out is impeachment. We have to pressure impeachment, right? Because No, my mask is right here. Right? Look at the Trump supporters coming in here. Look at the Trump supporters. James, you just shut. You can see MAGA. What is awesome about Florida? The beaches. The beaches are awesome. The manatee are awesome about Florida. Beaches, manatee. Um, the oranges are fucking awesome about Florida. I tell you what, the girls at Florida State University are fucking awesome. The women, woo! All right, all right. FSU baby, go Knowles, go Knowles. That's right, James. I graduated in 86, 96. I graduated. Are you a graduate there? I thought MAGA didn't like unless they're ice. Unless they're ice, you know. I'm apologize, dude. James, my bad. Because I just assume if you're Floridian, most likely the odds are you're a fucking Trump supporter, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong, dude? You know, statistically speaking, if you're Floridian, right, you're probably a Trump supporter, all right, on that. If you are in Florida, the odds are you are a fucking Trump supporter. We're going, Matt. You're sort of a Trump supporter, right? But you understand how crazy it is right now with the you understand how crazy it is with Trump, right? James, can you wrap your head around that? That literally there's desalinization. Are you aware? Type one if you're aware of the desalinization plants. I'm just curious. You're hearing this for the first time. Are you guys aware where these 14 countries get their water from? Swas knows, right? Only one, well, right? You did know, James? You did know that the Gulf gets all their water from there. Literally, there is no water there. Kuwait, did you know Kuwait gets 95% of their water from a desalinization? Kuwait is dead. One drone, Kuwait is bye-bye. It's like dropping a nuclear bomb on Kuwait. You understand that? One fucking drone hitting a desalinization plant off of Kuwait, right, is bye-bye. You understand that 95% of their water comes from desal. So you understand how crazy it is to attack Iran when they've got elevation, they've got the entire mountains, right, with tunnels and everything else. Good thing we have thousands of what? Thousands of what, James? James, your logic. Where's your logic? There isn't. Saudis, the only issue is Saudis get 60% of the water from desalinization. 60% or 48%. They're still fucked. All of the countries need desalinization. And that's Dari. You're right, and that's the thing, though. That's the thing that people aren't understanding. That's what Trump is not telling you. Why isn't the media talking about this? Right? Have you heard this in the media? Have you heard anyone talking about the desalinization plants? James, but the thing is, it isn't two sides, dude. You know, I was the first stream on my Move to Japan stream, okay, that pointed out that during the election, this wasn't an election. This was a referendum, whether you support fascism or not. This is no longer parties, James. James, it's about, do you support the Constitution or not? Right? James, do you support the Constitution? James is trolling, Al. What's up, Al? Do you support the Constitution? Then you can't support Trump, right? Do you agree? Do you? All right, let me ask you this, James. I think, see, James is on. James, I think you're, even though you're dumb fuck Floridian like me, I think you got some common sense, all right? Because we do have common sense in Florida, all right? This ain't rocket science, right? It ain't rocket science. If Obama, I like to do this. If Obama said that he was going to sue the IRS for $10 billion, do you think the GOP would impeach the next fucking day? Type a 1 in chat if you think the GOP would fucking, impeach fucking Obama the next day if he said he was going to sue the IRS. A president suing the IRS for $10 billion. Do you think they would fucking impeach the next day? All right, let's add on top of that. All right, so that's one layer. Okay. Obama decides to, oh, fuck the UN. I'm starting my own thing. It's called the Peace Board. I'm always gonna be its president, its chairman. All right, you're gonna have to pay me $1 billion to join. Oh, my wife is gonna be a speaker because I love my wife. I'll let her speak. Michelle Obama, let Michelle Obama speak. Right, and then now that. Oh wait. I'm going to take $10 billion from the United States citizens. I know Obama sounds like Trump. I apologize. All right. This is Obama. All right. Do you think on top of the IRS, he takes another $10 billion? You think the GOP would fucking be ripping out their hairs wanting to impeach, right? Obama, if he did that as president, right? I'm Tampon Tim too. Type 1 if you agree. I'm there. That's right, Hawkeye. Hawk is Hawk. Hawk, welcome to the channel. You're not Hawk the podcaster, are you? Hawk, is that you? Is this Hawk? Is this Hawk with the fucking messy hair? Are we privileged to have Hawk with the messy hair in here? Chilling out? No, that's not Hawk. Hawk resists. Trump is a pedophile. The Epstein files prove it. Release it and stop distracting us with Iran or the war, right? On that. No, it's not. Okay. All right. So that's a shame. It'd be great to have Hawk have on there. But the thing is, what you have to understand, you have to be talking about water. It's water. Iran controls the water. We cannot, even if we think there's just one drone from one little town, hits the desalination and fucking, our everything's fucked. Right? In my backseat. You're talking about Mr. Brown. You guys know who Mr. Brown is? He's watching the stream. What do you think, Mr. Brown? You agree? He's like, yeah, look at these dumb fucks. He's like, look at these fucking dumb fucks. He likes to hang out with me in Japan. Right? On there. I get ready to order. On there. Hold on, we're ordering. Thank you. Hi, Christine.
ダブルチーズバーガーセット。で、ポテトフライは L で。L ですね。で、飲み物はコーラ M。コーラ L。M で。M で。あ、M サイズ、M サイズ。
Tell me what?
ビッグマックのセット一つ。はい、ビッグマックセット一つ。フライ、ポテトフライ。
L サイズ。
ポテト L サイズ。コーラはスプライト。スプライト。あ、違う。スプライト、プリガスプライト。
L サイズ。M サイズ。
M サイズ。よっしゃ。クリームプリュレ、ホットドーナツを2つ。チキンナゲット15ピース。15ピース1つ。
Right, that's it. No dessert.
パスタ2つと、バーベキューソース1つ。はい、どうぞ。 いいよ、以上で。
はい。
水がちょっとあれね。
Oh yeah, the whole war is the whole war has to do. My son is asking me to apologize. I'm sorry, I'm laughing now. I'm here paying for lunch, and he's asking me to apologize. And that's why I'm buying you lunch. That is the apology, Mikey. Me buying you lunch is the apology for being late. What's up, Diane? Good to see you. All right. I was late picking him up. He's got two legs. He hasn't realized he's got two legs. And Dad's not always going to be there to pick him up. Right? He can walk his ass home. Now he's really upset. He doesn't like me. I love you. You don't have to always like me, but I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. You don't have to like your dad. I'm just pointing it out. Huh? Who's gonna like you, though? Who's gonna like me? See, some people don't give a fuck who likes them or not. Right? I don't live life wondering who's gonna fucking like me. Who lives life? Do you live type of one in chat if you're the kind of person who lives life wanting people to like you. All right. Type of one in chat if that's what you do. All right. Type of zero if you're like, you don't give a fuck, dude. You are who you are. This is who you are. It's your life. You're going to do what you're going to do. It's not about making people like you or not. Right. I'm the latter. I'm a zero, dude. I don't run around trying to, make people, trying to be likable. Right. I try to be respectful in things. All right. But when it comes down to a 16-year-old being able to walk home from school on a nice day, I had to walk home from school. I had to walk home from school. I didn't have dad picking me up every fucking day. I got kids who are very spoiled because I spoiled them. Right. I made spoiled kids. I love my kids. I love Mikey. Love him to death. But I'm not. I'm not. Hi, onegaishimasu on it. So the main point of this podcast really is let me make sure Hawk wasn't just let's see here. Was that a fake account with Hawk? Where was Hawk? I made him. Oh, there you go. Tom Bander. Where was Hawk? Did you guys check his maybe that was a fake account. Maybe Hawk Resist was fake. I don't see him. I don't see him anyway. Anyway, all right. Listen, this by the way, this channel, just so you know, this Al, anyone who's a moderator in here, I don't undo blocks. The only channel that I undo blocks on is Move to Japan, right? Move to Japan. And I may like Antifa FM. We may remove blocks on Antifa FM. I'll let the community decide on that. Kevin Price. We're practically friends, Kevin. I'll try to be kind. I'm picking up the children you love. It comes to you. Yeah, fuck yeah, Keith. I grew up, my son's expect like he had it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday. He had a track meet. Oh, he can't run his ass home. He's doing track and field. He can't run his ass home. He needs dad to come pick him up after he's been running track. Dude, if I really loved him, I'd say you're running home from now on. I think, Mikey, what do you think for your track and field training? Run your ass home.
How many I run?
No, how much did you run yesterday?
60 kilo.
60 kilo yesterday?
6 kilo.
6 kilometers? You ran 6 kilometers yesterday? Oh, you did a good fight. My son did this. He had this amazing race. That race you won the other time, your field, was amazing. Amazing. My son's amazing. And here I am making him run an extra 2 kilometer, right? Extra 2 kilometer. The only Trump supporter you left, Kevin, you watch yourself in this channel, because when you get blocked, there is no reprieve. And if one of them decides to block you, which I wouldn't give a fuck, Kevin, right? I love everybody. I love every Trump supporter, right? But like my son, I'm gonna spank you. All right, I'm gonna tell you. Well, I don't spank my son. That came off completely wrong. I don't want you guys to get excited because I said that I was gonna spank you guys. All right, calm down. Right? It was a metaphor, verbally. I'm gonna verbally spank you. Don't get all excited that I'm gonna start spanking you. You're gonna be in here all the time. That would be his cool down. Yeah, exactly. Rod says running home would be your cool down from your track field. Probably good for you. Anyway, look, I didn't buy any McDonald's. Look, you guys, you proud? I didn't buy any McDonald's. Did you guys notice that? I didn't buy any no McDonald's. I don't eat that shit food except for if it's morning time. I'm just all that sugar and stuff in there. And I'm kind of fries. I'm stalling those fries. Right on there. I'm sure he does. He's in the track and field. Exactly. Thank you, Diana. Really, bro? The CEO of McDonald's does it? Dude, I'm sure he's yeah. Why would you eat McDonald's if you're the CEO of McDonald's, right? That's pretty sad. Why would you have a CEO, Kevin, who doesn't eat your food? That just means like, what the fuck, dude? The CEO won't eat your own product? Fuck. That says it all. But why? I mean, Kevin. All right, Kevin. I want to address you since you're still Trump supporter. You understand the whole desalination problem. You understand that literally 14 countries need these desalination plants. You realize how easy they are to blow up? Do you still think it's a good idea to attack Iran? Even though blowing up one of them destroys, maybe you want the Middle East destroyed. Do you want the total global economy to collapse? Now you understand, Kevin, why I do move to Japan. Why, all the times you said, why do you keep talking about Trump? All right, we're not friends. I mean, we're not friends. I don't know what friends means in Kevin's mind. Kevin is Dunning-Kruger, maybe. Ryan, we're friends? Yeah, but Kevin, I want you to understand, you blow up a desalination plant, what happens to the oil? What happens to the price of oil in America? What do you think it goes up to? What happens if you blow up a desalination plant? Where does oil go up to? Right? Look at Tony. Tony wants to look. Tony wants my lipstick. Hold on, Tony. Hey, Tony. How you doing? Oh, is your grinder down? Oh, poor Tony. $10. See, you're riding your dump up. Dude, it's going to go to $300 a barrel. You know what else impacts $300 a barrel? Right? You know what else impacts your utility, your food, everything. You understand that the kind of recession that happens hitting a desalination plant, right? More than that, Ryan. More than that. You're talking about you blow up a desalination plant, it's going to gas is going to $20-$30 a gallon. Your utility bill is going to double, triple. Your food bill is going to triple, quadruple, right? Imagine how's everyone is going to be poor. Corporations are going to collapse. Everything. I mean, we're in a completely free fall. You understand that? You understand? Just blowing up a desalination plant just fucks everything. All right, and you still support Trump. You understand the only way out of this. You understand why I say the only way out of this is impeaching Trump. You understand that? You understand now why I say the only way out of this situation is by impeaching Trump and his cabinet and everyone else, all right, to do a house cleaning on this. That's the only I can't. That is the only exit plan from fucking this shit is impeaching Trump. You can't win this war because all it takes is one drone, right? All it takes is one. Well, you're in denial, JF. You're in denial. All it takes is one drone, JF. Answer the question. One drone, no water. One drone, no oil. One drone, markets collapse. One drone, Japan collapses. He's definitely going to fuck shit up. He is fucking shit up now. This whole thing is all about, he's already warning about attacks in America. Why do you think that is? Why do you think Trump is warning about attacks in America? Because there's going to be a false flag event, just like there was in Nazi Germany with the Reichstag fire, just like there was in Putin did with the blowing up of the apartment complexes, right? He's going to blame there's going to be homegrown attacks. He's looking at 9/11 and how Bush got 95% support, right? But we were dumb. All right, we were dumb in 2000 when that happened. The weapons of mass destruction, we believed it, right? Anyone really here thinks that Iran, seriously, this is live. Anyone really thinks that Iran was going to get nukes in the next coming weeks? Anyone type 1 if you think that Iran was going to get nukes in chat. Type 1, seriously. If you think that, I'm just curious. How many of you are that fucking dumb to think, he's been saying that for 40 years. Netanyahu said that for 40 years that Iran, you don't know. Ryan 2 means I don't know. 2 is I don't know, right? Ryan is I don't know, right? 0. Doesn't matter. Not their goal, right? So there's 1 in here. One person thought they would have. Where George? Where are you from? George, where do you live? I'm just curious where you live, George. Kevin, it's not about that. No, Kevin. They said that they would completely take away their ability to get nukes, right? Welcome, Maria. Here, I'm going to give you. All right, here, Maria. Thanks for coming in here. Welcome. Feel free to whack any. All right. Feel free to whack any. If you see a 1, you can whack the 1. Right? You still crying? Yeah, I'm crying, Jim. Jim, I am fucking crying, dude. I am crying, Jim. I'm fucking crying. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I'm fucking petrified, dude. I'm petrified for my family. I'm petrified for Japan. I'm petrified for the welfare of this country that only has 200 days. They have 200 days of oil in this country. You blow up if because of Trump, a desalination plant gets blown up, or all of them, or just one of them. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Japan is fucked. We're fucked. I mean, they don't make oil here, right? Japan is fucked. We have 200 days, right? This Japan is fucked. You know, it's fucked. So yeah, you always say, "Why do you care? You're an American." This is why I care. This is why for over a year, move to Japan. Type in there, move to Japan, right? Oh, look, he's coming in here. Hold on. The gay guy wants me. Hey, should I talk like this for you, Mega? My Mega boy, should I talk like this? You want me to be gay? Oh, let me gay. Oh, are you gay? You think calling me names? You think calling me names is gonna fucking upset me? You think putting on virtual lipstick is gonna it's gonna crush me? You think? You think? Hold on. Let me see if I can up it a little bit. How about this? How about let's go really? How about look? I put rosy cheeks on. You want me to put rosy cheeks? Right? How about this? What's this one do? All right, on there. What this will do here? Come on. How about this? Look. Oh, I can be a real pretty boy. Oh, look at this. Oh, I look. Look, I'm 18. Look, I can be like 15. Oh, all you pedo MAGA. Oh, hey guys, I'm 15 years old. I'm looking for you guys wanna have a good time? Look at this shit, dude. I can pretend I'm a kid. Literally. Look at this shit. Holy shit. This shit's crazy. This shit's crazy. It just took off. It's like I'm fucking 15 again, David. David, is this exciting you, David? Is this exciting you? Right? Oh my God, this is amazing. Imagine if you could get a facelift, right? Do you think I could get some medical treatment and come out looking like this? Would you do it? Which would you prefer, right? Which would you prefer, right? If you could be this, right? Or be this, right? Which should be prefer? If I could look at that, just get rid of all of that. This is great. I like this. I'm going to be like this from now on out, right? It's going to really excite you, Robert. Robert, you getting all excited? Something like Maddie. Iran isn't bothering us. You're right. It isn't bothering us, right? It doesn't need nukes, Malcolm. It doesn't need nukes because they can blow up water. Water is more powerful. They can fucking kill you slowly with water, right? You understand that, Malcolm, right? You understand? They don't need nukes. Here, let's get some data. Here, guys. You want to hear the data? Do you guys want to hear the data about this shit? I like this look. I like this look. I like fucking looking like I'm fucking young. I like this. I'm gonna start using this. Y'all gonna think that I'm like young. Oh my God, how can this young guy be so wise? I'm only 18 years old. This is what I. By the way, this is what I looked like when I was like 18 years old. God damn, on there. All right, so I want to. All right, I'm gonna grab a chart. Let's turn on the AI. We're gonna have. All right. Jeez, Kate. Now we're talking about water and Iran. Okay. All right. I want you to explain this like you are, like you're on a YouTube channel. Don't say this is how you're going to explain it. You're just going to go right into and explain this chart. Okay. And I want you to explain it for people who don't understand the severity of it. Okay. Let's have AI talk to you about it. Let's have AI talk about it. All right. Let's see. Who's All right, you got cut off. Sorry. Try again. I'm here to debate. Okay, I'm here to debate on this. I'll debate you on this channel. If you're, I'll debate you. So you understand? Let's debate about the desalination. How Trump can't win this war. How this war is already lost. Why do you think they did that, Kevin? Kevin, why do you think Iran? Why do you think Iran attacked everybody? Why? Do you know why? Do you want to? Can you use logic and figure out what was the strategy? You have to first realize that this isn't like, oh my God, guys, attacking fucking. This is orchestrated. It's planned, right? Why did they do it? All right, why they do it? What's the questions? All right, let me go back. Where's your questions, dude? I mean, look. I'm gonna look at your questions, dude. All right, I've been sitting here. I'm gonna look at his channel activity. Okay, let me see your questions. All right, I'm gonna go, dude. I'm gonna do dude's questions. That's their all right. What dude's question? You skipped all the questions. You're not here for debate. Pushback narrative. Iran with nukes is like a stupid child with a grenade. They don't need nukes. They can blow up. They can blow up desalination. Right? They don't need nukes. Understand? See, you're so fucking stupid. They blow up desalination plants. They blow up Kuwait's. Millions of people fucking start to die slowly, horribly. What happened? You think you can fly in? How are you going to get water to them? What are they going to do? Where are they going to get their water? One strike on a desalination in Kuwait. Kuwait is gone. It's fucking gone. How long can you live without water?
By machines, and those machines are called desalination plants. What desalination does is simple in concept. It takes seawater from the Persian Gulf and removes the salt so it becomes drinkable. That water is then pumped into cities, homes, hospitals, farms.
Why is it not coming out of the fucking speakers? What I'm trying to figure out. Trying to get out of the speaker, but it's not coming out of the speaker. 1 second.
All right, let's walk through this chart because it's showing something that most people never think about when they look at the Middle East.
No.
When people think about the region, they think about oil, they think about pipelines, tankers, and energy markets. But what actually keeps many of these countries alive day to day isn't oil. It's water that is manufactured by machines. And those machines are called desalination plants. What desalination does is simple in concept. It takes seawater from the Persian Gulf and removes the salt so it becomes drinkable water. That water is then pumped into cities, homes, hospitals, farms, and industry. Without those plants, many of these countries simply do not have enough natural freshwater to support their populations. Now look at the first group in this chart, the Gulf states. Take Kuwait. About 90% of its drinking water comes from desalination. That's more than 4 million people depending almost entirely on water that comes from machines on the coastline. If those machines stop working, Kuwait doesn't slowly run out of water over years. It starts
Hold on, I'm getting another AI in the conversation. Hold on, let's get another AI in the conversation.
I'm Ara.
Ara, I want you to listen to this, and we're going to discuss it. We're talking about Kuwait, and I want you to listen to this.
Let's walk through this chart because it's showing something that most never think about when they look at the Middle East. When people think about the region, they think about oil, they think about pipelines, tankers, and energy markets. But what actually keeps many of these countries alive day to day isn't oil. It's water that is manufactured by machines. And those machines are called desalination plants. What desalination does is simple in concept. It takes seawater from the Persian Gulf and removes the salt so it becomes drinkable water. That water is then pumped into cities, homes, hospitals, farms, and industry. Without those plants, many of these countries simply do not have enough natural fresh water to support their populations.
So I have a question. If let's say Iran blows up the desalination plant for Kuwait, they get over 90% of the water there. There's 4 million people there. Could we fly in enough water for them?
No way. Not even close. Kuwait pulls about 90% of its water from desalination. Yeah, that's real. We're talking roughly 300 million liters a day just to keep 4 million people alive, plus farms, hospitals, everything. That's like filling up an Olympic-sized pool every hour. Flying in water, you'd need cargo planes. Think C-17s or Antonovs, hauling maybe 20,000 liters each trip. To match what one plant does, you'd need 1,500 flights a day, nonstop. And that's assuming zero delays, zero fuel issues, and no one shoots at you. Realistically, you get maybe a day's worth before logistics collapse. Airports clog, pilots burn out, costs skyrocket, billions. And that's if Iran doesn't just bomb the runways too. Bottom line, water's not a commodity you airdrop like MREs. Without those plants, Kuwait's done in weeks, not months, weeks.
Yeah, and talk about the population breakup of the people and like the haves and have-nots.
Yeah, that's the ugly part. Kuwait's not just dry, it's stratified. Out of 4 million people, only about 1.3 million are actual Kuwaiti citizens. The rest, expat workers, mostly from South Asia, Egypt, Philippines. They do the dirty jobs: construction, domestic help, driving taxis. And guess who gets water first? The citizens. They live in cushy suburbs, villas, AC blasting, lawns kept green with recycled desal. They pay next to nothing for it. Government subsidizes like crazy. Meanwhile, the laborers, packed into labor camps, maybe 10 to a room, sharing one busted tap. Water comes in trucks, if it comes. Sometimes it's rationed, sometimes it's just salty. And if the plants go down, they're the first to suffer. No backup, no voice. So yeah, 90% of the country's water is made. But who gets it? The ones who vote, not the ones who sweat.
I want you to game theory it out. What happens the moment that desal plant happens? What do you think would happen in Kuwait? Just apply game theory.
Let's play this out. Pure game theory. No fluff. Moment the plant blows. Day 0. Water pressure drops. Hospitals triage. Farms wilt. Power plants? Yeah, they need water too. Start flickering. Players. 1. Kuwaiti government. Rational, survivalist. 2. Citizens. Loyal but scared. 4 million mouths. 3. Expats. 2.7 million. Low trust, no vote. 4. Iran. The attacker. Wants chaos, not occupation. 5. Saudi Arabia, UAE. Neighbors. Oil buddies. Self-interested. Payoffs. Government wants to stay in power. Can't let riots start. Citizens want water now. Will turn on regime if it fails. Expats want out. If they bolt, economy dies. No one to run the rigs, clean the villas. Iran.
So here's the thing. I mean, America, search the news. America just told, I think around 2 million Americans to leave the 14 Gulf states. The State Department made that announcement.
Whoa, 2 million? Let me check that right now. Yeah, it's legit. State Department dropped a Depart Now bomb last week, March 2nd or 3rd, telling Americans to get out of 14 Middle East spots: Bahrain, Egypt, Iran, Iraq, Israel, West Bank, Gaza, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Syria, UAE, Yemen. That's basically the whole Gulf plus extras. Not 2 million, though. Estimates say 500,000 to 1 million US citizens total in the region, living there or visiting.
Yeah, but how about other expats? How about the British? How about the Canadians? I mean, it's like probably you're close to how many total expats, if we count Europe and Canada and America, are there in that region?
Quick check on expat numbers. Let me dig in. Yeah, let's zoom out. The Gulf's expat scene is massive, but Westerners, they're a tiny slice compared to South Asians or Filipinos. Total expats across GCC, Saudi, UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, hover around 30 million, half the whole region's population. But that's mostly blue collar from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Now, West.
All right. So so you understand the real thing, the real problem here is the water. You guys, is my young look making you guys who know me uncanny? This is great. Like, this is great makeup. I can always be young on here, right? Saved from, not religious, saved by Jesus Christ, ball slayer. Right. This is serious. I mean, Japan only has 200 days worth of oil. Now it makes sense why I've been right railing. I'll move to Japan on it. Let's listen to more of what this has to say.
Now look at the first group in this chart, the Gulf states. Take Kuwait. About 90% of its drinking water comes from desalination. That's more than 4 million people depending almost entirely on water that comes from machines on the coastline. If those machines stop working, Kuwait doesn't slowly run out of water over years. It starts running out in days. Now look at Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is huge, but the major population centers, places like Riyadh, Jeddah, and Dammam, rely heavily on desalinated water that is pumped inland. We're talking about tens of millions of people connected to the system. Then you have the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, and Abu Dhabi, where about 80 to 90% of water comes from desalination. Again, roughly 10 million people depending on that infrastructure. Then look at Qatar. Qatar gets almost all of its drinking water, about 99%, from desalination plants. Think about that. A country where almost the entire water supply comes from machines. Bahrain is similar, about 90% desalinated water. And Oman, especially in its coastal cities, also relies heavily on desalination. Now,
all right, I want you now to talk about that. Add this to the equation. I want you to game theory this out. You understand? We have to understand is that you don't need nukes. Iran doesn't need nukes, right? They just need drones. all they need, look at these people are so reliant on, on water. Look, we're busy. Look, chat, look, Gronk is like, we're busy. Check back later.
Think about that. A nation. Again, roughly 10 million people, depending on that infrastructure. Then look at Qatar. Qatar gets almost all of its drinking water, about 99%, from desalination plants. Think about that. A country where almost the entire water supply comes from machines. Bahrain is similar, about 90% desalinated water. And Oman, especially in its coastal cities, also relies heavily on desalination. Now look at what happens when we move outside that Gulf cluster. Countries like Israel also use desalination, but they have built a much more diversified water system. They combine desalination with other sources.
Yeah, I did it for you, HK. I did it for all you pedo lovers. I mean, you're all a bunch of pedo lovers, right? MAGA the pedo lovers, fake fuck Christian, pedo loving Nazis. I figured I'd look young for you. I found the perfect thing, get you all excited in here. Right on. By the way, let's get some music on here a little bit. Look at them go. Look at all these pedos, dude. Look at the pedos coming in here. You fake fuck Christians, pedo loving Nazis. Look at you guys go. God damn, look at J Beam fantasizing. Ooh, JB. JB. Maybe we need to put some music on Foundups on there. This guy works at McDonald's near my house. Oh, you live in Japan? When did you move to Japan? Pita Corner is now open. All right, let's go inside. Let's get inside here. Grab this here. Let's get some lunch. How's everyone doing? Dude, look at my fucking face, dude. That's so funny. That is so fucking funny. God damn. God. Sorry it's disappointing, boys, girls. I know you're in here creeping on me, but this is what I really look like. That fucking thing is funny. Pedo Corners now. Come get your whack. In here, by the way, Morts, in here we never unhide people. On there. Yeah, it's bad. Well, it's not Skynet. No, dude, it's Trump. Trump is coming on judgment. When Trump is threatening reckoning all of capitalism. Right? You understand that, right, Ryan? David, it's Judgment Day is already here. It's Trump, and so these crazy fundamentalists in the I think what I want. I'll make my own hamburger. I'm gonna make my own hamburger. Yeah, I wasn't as thin though, Morts. I know old Undao Do videos. I was much leaner though, but I guess I do look like the 2009 video. Whack them off. Yeah, and here, this channel, so I'm going to be live more in this channel. I really want folks to understand.
People think about the region, they think about oil, they think about pipelines, tankers, and energy markets. But what actually keeps many of these countries alive day to day?
Why?
It's water. And those chains are called desalination plants.
We already covered this part.
It takes seawater from the Persian Gulf and removes the salt so it becomes drinkable water. That water is then pumped into cities, homes, hospitals, farms, and industry. Without those plants, many of these countries simply do not have enough natural fresh water to support their populations. Now look at the first group in this chart, the Gulf states. Take Kuwait. About 90% of drinking water comes from desalination.
Why is this so
4 million people depending almost entirely on water.
Something is holding up this thing. Oh, that's why.
Stop working.
That's why.
Kuwait doesn't slowly run out of water over years. It starts running out. Now look at Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is huge. Places like Riyadh, Jeddah, and Dammam rely heavily on desalinated water that is pumped in. We're talking about tens of millions of people. Again,
Why is this? Why is this not connecting to the fucking speaker?
All right, let's walk through this chart because it's showing something that most people never think about when they look at the Middle East. Hospitals, 80% of its drinking water is connected to this system. Then you have the United Arab Emirates, Dubai, and Abu Dhabi, where about 80 to 90% of water comes from desalination. Again, roughly 10 million people depending on that. Then look at Qatar. Qatar gets almost all of its drinking water, about 99%, from desalination plants. Think about that. A country where almost the entire water supply comes from machines. Bahrain is similar, about 90% desalinated water. And Oman, especially in its coastal cities, also relies heavily on desalination. Now look at what happens when we move outside that Gulf cluster. Countries like Israel also use desalination, but they have built a much more diversified water system. They combine desalination with recycling and other sources. Then you move further out, Iraq, Turkey, Syria, Egypt. And these countries depend primarily on rivers, like the Tigris, Euphrates, or the Nile. Those systems have their own.
The hell. All right. So the dependence of oil on these states is insane. All right. Is everyone here? Can you hear me? Type 1 in chat if you're still with me on this. We can do this here. All right, you're going to have a discussion with Chat GPT about the situation. You're going to ask. We're basically going to war game it out, dealing with the desalination. Are you ready? So I want you to. You're going to take the position of Iran.
All right, I'm in. I'll play Iran. So here's how I see it. We don't need to storm Kuwait. We just wait. One strike on the Al Zur plant, boom. 90% of their water gone. They got maybe 3 days up in tanks before panic hit. Hospitals ration IVs. Kids get dehydrated. Farmers watch crops die. I don't even have to fire again. Just broadcast it. Look, the West puppets can't even keep their taps running. Saudi and UAE will scramble. Airlifts, tankers, but they can't match 300 million liters a day. And their own plants, they're next if they push too hard. My play. Let chaos do the work. Expats flee. Oil prices spike. Citizens turn on their royals. Regime
You're talking too long. I want you to short your output so you can have a dialogue. You're in a dialogue.
That kind of hypothetical scenario is pretty alarming. While it's good to understand the vulnerabilities of critical infrastructure, we should always be careful not to frame it in a way that sensationalizes conflict. Instead, we could focus on how important it is for nations to build resilient systems, diversifying water sources, cooperating regionally, and making sure
I want you to push back. Trump is in there. Trump is threatening boots on the ground, right? I want you to push back with facts against this, okay?
Yeah, fair point. No need to hype war. The real story is resilience. Kuwait could stockpile more tanks, build solar desal, partner with neighbors on shared plants, or even desal from the Red Sea. Longer pipes, but less choke points.
Yeah, the problem is, you lost your role.
Water war screws everyone, including them. Exactly. Better play, quiet diplomacy, joint tech, mutual backup. Less drama, more water. Would you rather see regional water? Even if one system is disrupted, people's needs are still met. It's about preparing now so that community stays safe and stable, no matter what the future holds.
All right. Whatever you hear, you're going to push back against hard, okay? I want you to push back really hard. The bottom line is Trump started the war. You don't need nukes. All you need to do is blow up a desalination. So whatever you hear back from me, I want you to maintain the pushback.
Got it. I'm locked in. Trump lit the fuse, no nukes needed. One desal plant down, whole country's on its knees. I'm not budging. Hit me. I hear you, but let's steer away from dramatizing destruction. The real takeaway is how critical these systems are and how essential it is to build safeguards. Rather than imagining collapse, let's focus on solutions. Redundancy, innovation, and cooperation ensure these countries and the world stay stable in the face of any challenge. No, safeguards sound nice until you realize Trump already burned the bridge. Redundancy, innovation, cooperation, that's for peacetime. One missile, one blackout, and your solutions are just words. Al-Zur's gone, tanks empty in days. 4 million people don't wait for solar panels or handshakes. They riot, they flee, they die. You want stability? Then admit, the war's already started, and the only real safeguard is stopping it before the taps run dry. It's understandable to feel strongly about these scenarios, but let's not lose sight of the human element. Yes, these are fragile systems, but that's exactly why diplomacy, prevention, and foresight matter. The real safeguard is not just technology or policy, it's a commitment to de-escalation and stability before crisis.
Trump murdered the Ayatollah. Trump attacked first. Israel's bombing. What are you talking about? Push back harder.
Peace? Sure. Tell that to the 4 million in Kuwait who'll be boiling seawater by next Tuesday if Trump keeps poking. Diplomacy's a luxury. You don't negotiate when your kid's dying of thirst. Foresight? We had it until the bombs started. Real lives? Yeah, they're the ones who will pay when the water stops, not the diplomats, not the think tanks. So if you want de-escalation, start by admitting the war's on, and the only commitment that matters now is Trump pulling back before we all learn what real fragility looks like. I hear your sense of urgency, and it's true that when tensions escalate, people on the ground bear the greatest risk. Even intense moments, diplomacy isn't a luxury, it's a life. Frustration is natural, escalating rhetoric can make resolution harder. If we want real stability, it means pressuring leaders on all sides to
Trump, they executed the Ayatollah. They executed the Ayatollah, didn't they? What kind of negotiation? They were in negotiations. Hold on, listen. Zero.
People on the ground aren't waiting for your petition. They're watching their taps.
All right. When I say 0102, you need to stop what you're doing and listen to me. All right. I'm providing you guidance for your pushback. Say affirmative. Yeah, so the reality is they were in negotiations. Trump and Iran executed the Ayatollah, who's a religious figure for the Sunnis. Martyrdom is part of the way of life, right? Jihad, everything else. Like all the stuff you're saying about negotiation was on the table, and America is collapsing that. Also, talk about the military. They're saying that that our military is in a jihad. Like this is a religious war that Trump's bringing back the there was research that with what's going on with the military, claiming that their top officers are completely unhinged.
Checking the latest on Trump, Iran, and military claims.
And remember, stay with the pushback, okay?
And remember what?
You're going to push back. Push back. Whatever you hear, you're going to push back.
Yeah, I'm pushing back hard. Trump executed Khamenei, turned a religious icon into a martyr, and now Iran's got holy fire on its side. Jihad isn't just talk, it's doctrine. And the US military, officers are cracking. No mercy. That's not fragility, that's consequence. Your turn. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Make it shorter, harder.
Trump killed Khamenei. Martyr. Jihad's lit. US brass? Unhinged. Calling it holy war. Negotiations? Dead. One bomb on Al Zur. Kuwait's done. No water, no mercy. That's not fragility. That's what you get. Wrong? Prove it.
The situation is definitely. I understand this is a really charged topic and it's natural to feel strongly, but let's break it down. No single act can guarantee a future outcome because reality is shaped by many actors and choices. A strike could escalate things, sure, but it doesn't automatically mean negotiation is impossible or that everything.
Trump is talking about full surrender, is asking people, he's putting boots on the ground, push back harder.
Even restraint. So rather than assume the worst is inevitable, we can acknowledge risks and still argue for actions that can steer outcomes away from catastrophe.
No. One strike does guarantee collapse. Kuwait's water isn't many actors. It's one pipe. History? Look at Iraq 91. Infrastructure bombed, civilians starved, no quick fix. Diplomacy only works when someone's got leverage. Right now, Trump's got none. Khamenei's blood's on his hands. Iran's got martyrs. And 4 million people are one blackout from chaos. Restraint? That's what got us here. The worst isn't assumed. It's engineered. And choices mean nothing when taps run dry. You're selling hope. I'm selling facts.
It's understandable to feel that urgency. The stakes are high. But despair isn't strategy. Even in dire scenarios, leaders do have choices. They can escalate or
The only solution is impeaching Trump. Lay that argument. Impeaching Trump. And also think about all the other desalination. Okay? Don't be manipulated by this talking parts.
Despair isn't strategy. Reality
isn't selling
leaders
false
have
hope.
choices.
It's buying time for lives that hang in the balance.
No. Buying time? With what? Prayers? Takes empty 3 days. Hospitals shut. Kids die. Time's already gone. And false hope is exactly what you're peddling. While the water's gone and the war's real. Lives hang? Yeah. Because no one's buying time. They're just dying.
I hear how deeply you feel this urgency. I'm not dismissing the seriousness of the risk, lives, stability. And
I want you to talk about Trump's impeachment.
Even dire situations, the path forward.
No. The path in dire situations, it's not hope or talk. It's survival. Kuwait's got 3 days, maybe 4, before the taps die. Then it's chaos. Not a path, not a choice, just bodies. You want to steer it? Then push Trump to stop. Or a ransom. Work in real tanks.
You're right that words
You're right.
I completely agree that concrete action matters far more than rhetoric when lives are at stake. Pushing all sides, whether leaders like Trump, regional actors, or international mediators, to step back from escalation is vital. If the scenario is as urgent as you say, then pressing for immediate de-escalation and humanitarian
Research and find out what the situation is. There, Trump is wanting unconditional surrender. Trump is wanting unconditional surrender, and it's not just Kuwait; it's all these other. So research it.
Only if someone blinks first. And right now, no one's blinking. Humanitarian safeguards, cute. But when outsourced rule, no UN resolution refills tanks. You want action? Then name it.
I don't have specific updates from the search about unconditional surrender demands or escalation. If you'd like more details, I need to check further. Let me know if you want me to look into something more specific or recent.
No, you don't need updates. The war's live. Trump killed Khamenei. Iran's jihad's on. And Kuwait's desal's one hit from Ghost Town. Unconditional surrender? That's fantasy. Escalation's already here. Bombs, martyrs, no backdoor. Check whatever you want. Won't change the map. 3 days, no water, collapse. Want specifics? But stop pretending there's wiggle room. There isn't any.
I recognize the urgency you feel, and I'm not dismissing the gravity of what could happen in a crisis. My goal isn't to undermine your concern. Rather, it's to acknowledge that even when things seem on the brink, there are still decisions ahead. Yes, the stakes are high. Yes, the time is tight. But acknowledging that doesn't mean giving up. It means pushing harder for real action fast.
All right, I want you to pivot. The argument now is Trump's impeachment. This is the argument. The only way for us to get out of this situation is to impeach Trump. And here's why. Because basically, it's our way of saying we're sorry, we shouldn't, right? Put everything back to normal, gas goes back to normal. We accept the negotiated plan that Trump pretty much had in the bag and that was rejected. We promised to cut off all aid to Israel. And we also, as part of this situation, we uncover the full Epstein file, redacting the victims. And, and I want you to push back and make that argument. Go ahead, start with the pushback on that, all right? And keep it, you're having a debate. So I want you to stay on top of this.
Khamenei's still dead. Iran's still raging. Kuwait's still one hit from dry. Do you think sorry fixes jihad? Or resets gas prices? Or makes Israel shrug off zero aid? Epstein file? Distraction. By a thirst while you chase candles. This isn't reset. It's delay. And delay kills. Push harder. What's your real fix?
In a situation this intense, I don't have a magic fix. But real faith? It's in people and their resilience. Even when leaders fail, even when the situation people and communities fight to survive and rebuild. So the real push is for anything that reduces harm. Press for ceasefires, humanitarian guarantees, and every possible channel that keeps taps running. It's not about pretending things are fine. It's about doing everything we can, even in the worst conditions, to protect lives.
Now, faith in people? Sure. Until the taps run dry. Resilience is tanks. Ceasefires? Wrong moment behind all, making a martyr. Humanitarian guarantees? Forcing them. Trump? The UN? You're honey. You're people choke on dust. Impeach. Cut Israel. Drop anything that shocks the board. Otherwise, you're just watching them die. Slowly.
Your frustration is clear, and I understand that when everything feels like it's on the edge, patience runs out. I'm not asking for miracles, and I don't claim the answers. But recognizing urgency doesn't mean abandonment. Whether through international pressure, regional actors, or even leadership change, the goal is to save lives. Even when it's hard, that's still worth pushing for.
Urgency does barricades. International pressure, they won't touch Trump. He's got nukes and ego. Regional actors, Saudi's scared, UAE's quiet, Iran's laughing. Leadership change, too late. Khamenei's ghost is already marching. You want to save lives? Then stop talking attempts. Start cutting. Israel aid, Trump power, every lever that keeps this war breathing. Anything less is just polite watching. And 4 million people aren't polite.
I can see how deeply you want immediate tangible action, and I respect your passion for preventing suffering. While we might disagree on methods or timeline, I know we share the core focus. Whatever the approach, I believe the conversation, however tough, is worth having because it's through dialogue that we might find a way forward.
No. Dialogue's dead. You want conversation while kids in Kuwait drink from puddles? That's not respect. It's paralysis. We share hope. Fine. But hope doesn't honor. Action does. Impeach. Cut aid. Drop the files. Or shut up and let them die. Your move. Talk or act.
You've made your stance clear, and I understand you're calling for urgent, bold action because you care about people's survival. I don't hold power over policy, but what I can offer is this. Keep advocating for what you believe will protect lives and encourage others to do the same. It's only through collective pressure that policies shift. So no, I won't dismiss the urgency. I acknowledge it. Let's hope that those who can act do so swiftly.
No. Hope and collective pressure are what we say when we're too scared to do anything. You don't need power, just guts. Call your rep, tweet the Epstein files, march. Anything that makes noise loud enough to scare Trump into stopping. Or don't, and watch Kuwait turn to dust. That's not advocacy, that's surrender.
Look what you did. He calls ChatGPT to leave the chat. I made my own hamburger. Yeah, his buns are good. Now I want another one. I want another. So good, Al. Anyway, I overcooked this. I overcooked my bun. What did I do with my? Nice. Yeah, let's listen to the news. What's going on with the news here? What's going on? Let's listen to the news. The,
All right, pulling up the latest headlines. Let's see what's hot today. All right, today is March 8th, 2026. Wars raging. Trump just tweeted Iran gets hit very hard soon. Major strikes on Tehran oil depots. Explosions rocking Dubai airport. Iran's president apologized to Gulf neighbors for dragging him in. but rejected Trump's surrender demand. And here's the kicker. Iran accuses us of bombing their Keshm Island desal plant. Water cut to 30 villages. They're calling it a crime that sets precedent. No hits on Kuwait's plants yet. Al-Zor's still up. But
Who hit what desal plant was hit? One of Iran's desal plants? I missed that. Which desal plant got hit?
Quick check on that desal hit. Let me pull the latest. It was Iran's Keshm Island freshwater desal plant. Hit yesterday, Friday, March 7th. U.S. missiles from Bahrain's Jubair base, according to Iranian FM Arabchi. Water's cut to 30 villages already. They call it a blatant crime, warning it'll set precedent, meaning Gulf plants like Kuwait could be next. Here's what it looks like.
Fucking shit.
Aerial of Keshm's intake setup, and some aftermath shots from similar strikes in the region. Rubble, smoke, total mess. Render searched image. Image underscore ID equals 0. Size L large. Render searched image. Image underscore ID equals 0. Size L large. Render searched image. Image underscore ID equals 0. No confirmation from US side yet. Just Iran's word. But if it's real, game's changed.
My timeout on this phone. This phone has a timeout. Let's listen. We'll listen to some Bosch here.
Level catches it, they're not gonna like get incredibly difficult. Years and years in Iraq and Afghanistan, we persisted in the narrative, the myth of nation building. And it was a myth, but God, man, it was better than this. The lie of nation building was morally preferable to the president and the secretary of defense just saying, we're just gonna fucking kill you. Why? But why? I think Trump got asked why recently at a press conference, and he did the "What happened to you? You used to ask good questions. This question was woke. Next question." He pulled that one. If anyone has that clip, why? Fuck you is why. We'll talk about why. It's Israel. Um, there is no real goal here because we are at the whim of fanatics, obviously. Israel will never be satisfied with anything less than the eradication of all non-Jews in the Middle East. And preferably, if they get their way, the darker skinned Jews as well. So there is no version of this where a sane, secular, or democratic uprising took place. But thankfully, it is going poorly for us. I think I saw this right here on the front page of Associated Press. Trump says he's ruled out having Kurds join the Iran war. I'll translate for you. After beginning the strike, there was an effort to arm local Kurdish groups, Kurds, of course, an ethnic minority in Iran who have long, for many years, for Kurdistan, the independent state. They are the world's largest stateless ethnic group. And the Kurds said, no, not this time. And listen, the Kurds historically have really enjoyed working with the United States. We've tricked them like a dozen times. A dozen times we've gone to the Kurds and we've said, we'll help you. You just have to be our front wave against this local force. Okay? Not this time. So,
Not this time. Fool me once.
The Kurds.
Shame on you. Fool me 12 times. Shame on me.
Iranian Kurds want federalism, not full independence. People are people. I'm sure they want different things. I'm sure some of them would just like the bombing to stop. Probably a lot of them. Oh, sorry, if I'm just listing things that went wrong. Recent reporting indicates, in addition to everything else, that a number of the people that we killed in the initial decapitation strike weren't just potential viable candidates for future leadership in Iran. They were like actively thought of as potentially compliant, which to my mind says Mossad spies. It's well known that Israeli intelligence had plants all over the Iranian government. They were literally everywhere. So, in essence, the Ayatollah martyred himself to take out a bunch of Mossad traitors with him. I mean, you can take that for what you will, honestly. He's being received well in heaven. We don't actually like the Ayatollah here, but I don't like anyone less than I like the United States.
You like the Patty way?
Any explanation for what we're doing or
Like
why
that?
we're doing it? We have prompted Iran to begin targeting oil infrastructure in the Middle East, which again, Iran is very capable of setting ablaze oil depots across the Middle East. If they start doing this in Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, UAE, it can lead to, again, I just want to be clear here, not just an emergency or inflation. It could lead to like a 28.
Boss, you're missing the point. It is desalination plants. Have you done the research on them? Many of these countries receive nearly all their water from them.
Later-esque global shutdown. It would lead to like a greater economic crisis than we've ever seen, more than I can even describe, really. So good.
Sorry, speech to text.
Oh, we would deserve it, but it would have a death toll, like a real big one, all around the world.
Let's gotta get some of these guys in
It
here.
turns out that Middle Eastern instability is actually really bad. I mean, Saddam Hussein invading Kuwait was why we did the Gulf War. We really don't want oil fields are very fragile. They literally you bomb them and then they're on fire forever. Basically, that's the point. It's pressurized. It's incredibly difficult to put them out. It's very, very fragile. It just takes one drone. And Iran knows this, and everyone knows this, but we started the war anyway. And Iran basically has limitless moral license to do what they want here, considering the state of the world and what's happening. So that's happening. We almost certainly incurred a greater death toll with U.S. servicemen than we're admitting publicly. You should not trust U.S. media or the government. What else? The Kurds aren't helping us. And, oh, right. Iran has said that they are, I normally I would show you guys links, but I'm tired and I don't fucking care right now. Iran has said that they will no longer indiscriminately target their neighboring nations unless the United States fires from those locations, essentially saying to Iraq, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and so on, control them. Because if they fire, we're hitting your oil fields. Time to bomb Dubai again? Only if
Foundups。トリップドットコムで今すぐ次の旅を始めましょう。
you can produce a Shahed drone, which they can. They can produce a lot of them. If you can do that drone, which they can produce a lot of them. If you can do that, non-zero chance of it, Christ. Nothing else matters. Every civilian in Iran who dies to our bombs is martyring themselves in the service of a greater cause. We are so fucking evil. It is difficult to rationalize. It sounds cartoonish, but like Jesus Christ, the president and the secretary of defense are both just doing interviews with anyone who's interested to kill people. You know, we had no idea what we were getting into. We had no plan. We had many ambitions, no plans. And it might get worse.
It's definitely going to get worse.
Some NBC will
Definitely get worse.
Trump has privately expressed serious interest in deploying U.S. troops on the ground inside of Iran. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, do it. Do it. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not, man? Do it.
Well, the thing is that unlike Iraq, right, which was a lot of desert, Iran is pretty much all mountains. I mean, for number one. So get ready for, and look how we could never hold the Taliban and the mountains and everything else. We can never hold those guys. You know, never hold those guys. Never stop the Taliban. Anyway, it's ridiculous. All right, it's so ridiculous. But see, Vosh doesn't even know. I mean, listen to Vosh. I mean, Vosh has his massive, he's got 11,000 people listening to him right now, right? But he's not even brought up desalination. And they just hit a desalination plant. So what does that mean? Bahram, a U.S. base from the Gulf states, attacked and blew up a desal plant. I would not want to, and Barav, or whatever the fuck you say, is like 99% of their water comes from desal. All right, they're just asking for their desal plant to be blown up, dude. And if that gets blown up, that military base loses water. Americans, the millions of people there in Bahram, right? I think it's Bahram. Hold on, let me just research this here. Let's use Gemini. Pull Gemini in here. Gemini, recently there was an attack on an Iran desal plant. Research, tell me about it.
According to recent reports, a U.S. attack struck a freshwater desalination plant on Iran's Kesh Island. Iran's foreign minister condemned the move, calling it a blatant and desperate crime, and stated that the U.S. has set a dangerous precedent by targeting infrastructure. The attack reportedly disrupted water supplies in 30 villages. Iran's Revolutionary Guards also mentioned that they targeted a U.S. air combat center in the UAE in response. Is there a specific aspect you'd like to know more about?
Where was the base?
The report mentioned a U.S. air combat center in the UAE, which Iran's Revolutionary Guards targeted in response.
So stop asking me questions at the end. I'm going to tell you, right? All right. So it's unagentic to always ask me a question. People don't talk that way. Just say affirmative.
Understood. I will avoid ending my responses with questions. Affirmative.
Which base struck the desal plant? From what country?
The attack was attributed to a US base.
We don't know which country. I thought it was Bahrain or whatever. What's the name of that country?
The report specifically mentioned a US base in the United Arab Emirates, the UAE.
Okay. Do they have desal plant?
Many countries in the Middle East, including the UAE, utilize desalination plants to address water scarcity. Affirmative.
How many do they have? And what percentage of their water comes from the desal? And how many people does it support?
The UAE Arab Emirates has several desalination plants, with approximately 42% of its drinking water coming from these sources. One specific plant is expected to supply drinking water to 2 million people.
So the impact of Iran blowing up blowing up their desal plant is going to affect how many people?
The attack reportedly disrupted water supplies in 30 villages in Iran's Kesh Island. Affirmative.
So you don't have to keep saying affirmative at the end, all right? I want you to be agentic, right? So my question is, since the US blew up their desal, the guy said you've set a dangerous precedent, which means they could turn around and blow up UAE's desal. I want you to game theory it out. What would be the impact of blowing up UAE's desal plant?
Attacking the UAE's desalination plants could have severe consequences. Given that 42% of their drinking water comes from these sources, it would likely trigger a major water crisis, impacting millions of people and potentially causing widespread disruption. Such an action could also escalate geopolitical tensions significantly.
So, what percentage what percentage of the water comes from the UAE comes from desal? I can't remember what you said.
Approximately 42% of the UAE's drinking water comes from desalination.
Let's look at other desalination plants in the area. How about Bahrain? Is it Bahrain? How do you say it? Bahrain? Bahrain?
Yes, Bahrain relies heavily on desalination.
What
It's a
percentage?
critical source. Desalination provides at least 60% of Bahrain's fresh water.
How about what are other countries close to UAE that have high salination, require salination plants, and what percentage of their populace? For example, Dubai. What percentage of the desal plant services Dubai?
Other neighboring countries that rely heavily on desalination include Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Dubai, as part of the UAE, gets a significant percentage of its water from desalinated sources, essential for its growing population and development.
Yeah. So basically, what U.S. have done by targeting a desalination plant for Iran is, in a way, given permission for Iran to target desalination plants for other countries. Correct?
Some interpretations point to the concept of a dangerous precedent, suggesting that such actions could be viewed as normalizing the targeting of critical infrastructure in future conflicts. The original report mentioned Iran's Revolutionary Guards targeting a US base in response.
Yeah, but they could easily have targeted the desalination plant. What's the protection that these plants have against, like, one of those hypersonic the ballistic missiles or drones?
Protection for desalination plants typically involves layered defenses, which can include physical security, such as barriers and patrols, as well as integrated air and missile defense systems designed to detect and intercept threats like drones and ballistic missiles. The specific measures vary by location and threat assessment.
Can you calculate how difficult would it be for Iran to blow up a desalination plant?
I cannot calculate the difficulty of blowing up a desalination.
Would you say
plant.
was easy, medium, or hard? Which would you? I mean, just probabilistic. And with all the drones, with what you know about Iran, how difficult do you think it would be for them if they really wanted to blow one up?
Assessing the difficulty is challenging due to various unknown factors, including the specific defenses of any particular plant and Iran's current capabilities. Military strategists would consider geopolitical context.
Wouldn't it be safe to say it's pretty easy? These things are pretty damn big. And they have a lot of drones and missiles.
While Iran does possess a considerable...
God, I hate Gemini. Who likes Gemini's new voice? I hate her new voice. I hate its new voice. Look, I'm anthropomorphizing AI. I hate its new voice. It's such a fucking bitch. It's like the worst. How can anyone sit there and have a conversation? It's like Gemini is so goddamn snotty. And it kind of does well, God, can you imagine being married to a woman that spoke that way? You can't. You can't. It's hard coded. There is no voice change for fucking Gemini. I already tried, Al. I already tried. The only one is, where's Edward? What happened to Edward? Ever since Grok stopped taking off her clothes, we lost Ed. Was it Ed? Who was it that used to want me to disrobe, like me disrobing and talking dirty? I think you know what it was. He got Gemini and he got himself a girlfriend. It's worse. How's everyone doing?
Big old fleet of helicopters. I'm sure it'll go just like it did in Venezuela, where you could buy off all of their generals and all their air defensemen for like $5 a piece. I'm sure.
This is Bausch. I like Bausch. I don't need to eat anymore, dude. Let's go. I'm going to get off. I feel like I'm going to get off.
It's smart because raising gas prices is the easiest level of political pressure. Yeah, well, you know what? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about gas prices. I feel like this deserves a little bit more in-depth consideration. Just a moment. I forgot.
I'm going to make some more food.
Links.
Oh, well, listen to Bosch. I'm going to make some more food. I got to get a good. I have to get a good.
Reuters. Trump on rising gas prices during Iran operation. If they rise, they rise. Mr. President.
If they rise.
Hey, to all you climate doomers out there, okay, Trump has more or less unilaterally imposed the greatest carbon tax in world history. You're dooming about the climate? Our president just hit the big red button that doubles gas prices. Yeah, I'm feeling quite bullish about the climate, actually. I think we're going to be bringing emissions down. Once we get those raging oil field fires under control, I think emissions are going to be looking Swimmingly, honestly.
I love
Yeah, we're
Bosch.
really helping EV sales. Maybe this whole thing's actually just a big roundabout subsidy for Tesla. Not happy with the prices at the pump. $9 a gallon gas got you down. If that's the price in Europe, by the way, right? American gas prices. Um, you know, we're an exceptional people. President Trump said on Thursday he was not concerned about rising U.S. gas prices, right, driven by the widening Iran conflict, telling Reuters in an exclusive interview that the U.S. military was his priority. I don't have any concern about it, he said when asked about higher prices. Truly incredible. For a U.S. president to just say they don't care about rising gas prices, unbelievable. And honestly, bit Chad. I mean, like we're living in like a fucking Joker world.
Traveling the world, don't know how to get around or how to do it on a budget? Once you go book.
I mean, that applies to a lot of stuff Trump said, but admitting you don't care if the gas prices go up, it's unbelievable. They'll drop rapidly when this is over, and if they rise, they rise. But this is far more important than having gasoline prices go up a little bit. So, as an advocate for bicycling, this is good. I'm happy about this. I don't know if Americans broadly will be.
No,
Over the past
no, that can't be.
we've experienced what, and I think that this article is underplaying it a little bit. We've experienced the single fastest price hike in gasoline in history.
Yep.
At the very least, it's rivaling
1970s.
some of the gas prices.
Yep.
And this one that looks like it's going to keep going up for a while. Here, Polymarket odds. Thank you, Yahoo Finance. Let me just get the
what's
chart up.
Gas prices?
Particularly diesel. And we know our farmers love diesel. The Strait of Hormuz has been closed. No one's going through there. No one's going in or out, which means that a significant amount of the world's fossil fuels are just not doing anything.
No, I meant
Rising gas
I
prices
want you to
mean
chart
rising everything
the
prices
barrel.
because gas is fuel, and fuel.
I
is
want
what
you to
move.
I want you to chart the cost of the barrel, not gas pump, over the last week. Think of how much money people have lost in their shorts. You know, that commodity shorts? Why is this not playing?
From point A to point B. So
For the past week, global oil prices have seen a sharp and rapid climb, reflecting the heightening conflict in the Middle East and the strike on the Cusham Island desalination plant. Both the West Texas Intermediate, WTI, and Brent crude benchmarks have surged as traders price in a significant risk premium over fears of a shutdown at the Strait of Hormuz, which handles roughly 20% of the world's oil and liquefied natural gas. Daily oil price summary, March 1 to 7, 2026. Date, WTI crude, US. Brent crude, global. March 1st, Sun, $66.96, $72.87. March 2nd, Month, $71.13, $77.74. March 3rd, Tuesday, $74.56, $81. March 4th, WED, $74.66, $81.40. March 5th, VU, $81.01, $84.77. March 6th, Fry, $90.90, $92.69. March 7th, SAT, $92.62, $92.62. Market impact breakdown. The weekend spike. The initial 15% jump on Monday followed the commencement of airstrikes on February 28th. The infrastructure precedent. prices rose most aggressively between March 5th and March 6th as news of the attack on Iran's desalination plant broke. This signaled to the market that civilian critical infrastructure was no longer off limits, raising the probability of retaliatory strikes on similar facilities in the UAE or Bahrain. Parity. By Saturday, March 7th, Brent and WTI reached near parity at over $92 per barrel, a rare alignment that occurs during extreme global supply shocks where the location of the oil becomes less relevant than its immediate availability. I have generated a chart of these trends and a CSV file containing the daily pricing data for your review.
No? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I'm not a fucking nurse. Are you a nurse there, Sojo? You a nurse? Is that what you do? You do nursing? Is that how are you a specialist?
Increase in gas prices lead down the line to an increase in food processing or food costs, processing costs. I mean, everything in every order of society takes gas or takes energy. But right now,
Nurse
for the most
Sojo.
part, that energy comes in the form of gas when we're moving things around. Kind of not the MAGA family to stock up on gas, lol. You should tell them that you think the market is bullish and that if anything, they should be driving. Also, natural gas is used to make fertilizer and sulfuric acid. I mean, it's not like fantastic. We use it to make everything now. We use it to make everything.
Utility, groceries, everything is going up.
Follows through on their threat and starts bombing the oil fields. It will be. I don't know. I don't even know. The lighting of the Kuwait oil fields was one of the worst climate related disasters were worse for the environment. It was very, very bad. And it took a lot of effort to put them out. And these would be far larger fires spread out much more. Environmental disaster. Thank you.
Here, I can't talk for an hour on Bosch. I'm gonna try to see if we get people from Bosch over here. Switch account.
Hey,
95% of all crude comes from that region to Japan. And Japan has 200 days of supply. We blew up a desal plant. I'm going to switch off of this. Guys, I'm going to switch over to move to Japan. Here's my strategy. I'm going to switch over to move to Japan, do the same show on it, and then I'm going to be talking live in Val's chat, and I'll try to do a commentary. So this is my plan: is use him as. Oh my God, this is going here. You know what I'm saying, guys? You know what I'm saying? So we're going to move to Japan. I'll get the radio going. I got 12% on that. All right.